Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Pori at www.timpori.com. I am a certified criminal law specialist at the California State Bar Board of Legal Specialization. My area of expertise is crime. Today I want to talk about something that most criminal lawyers don't really want to talk about, and that's jail. First of all, there's some things you should know about jail if you have to go there. Most of my clients go to jail first, then they come to see me. Maybe if you talk to me first, you won't have to go to jail, but if you do, here's some tips that I think would be helpful for you. For example, um, meals in the county jail start very early, so try not to oversleep. If you The other thing you need to be prepared for is that meals in the county jail don't really look like meals at all, but you have to just trust your instincts and eat anyway. I'll never forget my first dining experience in the county jail. We had 10 plates, and the oatmeal looked like wallpaper paste, and the meat product was some kind of bizarre-looking, rubbery pseudo meat, and I believe it contained some animal parts. However, I couldn't be certain. The potatoes were a collage of cooked and uncooked potatoes, and some were actually burnt, but it had a very interesting mosaic in the form of an ice cream scoop. The coffee was exceedingly hot and very bland and tasteless. Served along with this sumptuous breakfast was a piece of white bread. Now, I'll never forget my first look at a jailhouse breakfast. I was so mortified I could not eat. But I assure you, by my 13th time in the county jail, not only would I eat mine, I would eat yours if you were sleeping. So the first rule of etiquette is don't sleep through breakfast. Now, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are three of the most important meals of the day in the county jail. Those are the three of the most important events in the day, except for, of course, court. So it's very important that that you remain present and in the moment when it's time to eat. The other thing is that, and this is kind of, I hate to be indelicate, but in most county jails there's not a lot of space, and so you may find yourself in a situation where you're actually being fed inside the cell, which can be exceedingly uncomfortable if there's a toilet in the cell, and there usually is. And sometimes the people who have to go can't wait, and so while you're eating, there may be somebody actually having a bowel movement or vomiting or something like that. Don't let that bother you. Just keep eating. My recommendation is, time is of the essence in the county jail around mealtime. Now, there's another couple of rules of etiquette that I'd like to explain to you that transcend really the dining experience. These are like the in-between times. As a general rule, in the county jail, the protocol is that one sleeps in the daytime and stays up at nights. Learn to play cards, learn to play dominoes, learn jokes, and most of all, mind your own business. Now, if you happen to be housed with some crazies, don't make eye contact, don't make any sudden movements. Don't, for example, say, hey y'all, I got $200 in this here paper sack, what do you do for fun? It's very important that you keep to yourself in the county jail, if at all possible. But if you are forced to mingle, at least learn how to play spades. Now, a true aficionado of the county jail can actually play double-deck pinochle, but I'll save that for another discussion. Now, aside from knowing the importance of jailhouse etiquette, it's also important to know that it's always impolite to ask the guy next to you, hey brother, what are you in here for? You may not want to know. And as lawyers, we always know that if you don't want to know the answer to the question, don't ask it. And so in my case, if I was ever in the county jail, I would never say, hey, what are you in for? Because sometimes people would get offended. So don't ask what you're in here for. The other thing I would recommend is, while in the county jail, don't get any tattoos. The worst thing you can do is get a county jail tattoo. Some of the worst tattoos I have ever seen come from the county jail. They're crude, they're not well thought out, the designs are all messed up, and you really just can't trust the tattoo artist. I'll never forget the story about a man I had met in the county jail many years ago, and I believe it was in the 70s. I think it was 1978. This gentleman had an L tattooed on his left hand. I said, hey brother, I noticed you have an L tattooed on your left hand. What's that for? He looked at me in a very serious voice and said, well, that's so I can tell my left from my right. And of course, what a stupid question. Now, the interesting thing about that man, though, is that, because I myself was a recidivist and had the misfortune of being arrested again some months later, I saw the very same gentleman again in the county jail. And when I saw him again, he had not only the L on his left hand, he had an R on his right hand. Well, I didn't ask him at that point what the R meant because I already knew. The other important thing about tattoos is don't let anybody tattoo anything on your back. I once knew a man who allowed another individual to tattoo what he thought was a mushroom on his back. Turned out that this mushroom was a penis. He was most upset, and it was very, very disconcerting when he realized that he had a dick on his back. So please, please don't get any tattoos in prison. So I think we've covered games. I think we've covered culinary delights. I think we've covered etiquette. I think we've covered just about everything else, except for the most important thing is, if you get into trouble, the telephone number is 707-644-4004. Thank you.